Hey everybody, I'm Jeremiah.
And I'm Kevin.
And this is Video Game Eats,
where we craft all your favorite recipes from your favorite video games. Today, we're starting with World of Warcraft.
And this is the official cookbook by Chelsea Monroe Cassell. All right, so today we're starting with spices, and this is because a lot of the recipes in this book use spices from the video game. We have ancient Pandaran spices, autumnal herbs, holiday spices, and northern spices. Today we're starting with the autumnal herbs. These are a favorite of the Stormwind chefs around the Pilgrim's Bounty harvest. Okay, so to make autumnal spices, first we're gonna get 2 tablespoons of ground rosemary. Then 2 teaspoons of dried thyme. One teaspoon of marjoram, half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger. Then next we're gonna just mix it real quick. Gotta get them nice and mixed together. Did we need to use a mortar and pestle? No, but does it look cool? Yes. Lastly, we're gonna put it into one of these for ease of use later. Smells so good. And we have our autumnal herbs that the Stormwind chefs love.
Next up, we're gonna celebrate everybody's favorite holiday, Winter Veil, with some holiday spices. So first thing with holiday spices is we need our pepper. We need 1 tablespoon of black pepper. I always like to start with the peppercorns so that way we can crunch it up and make it look nice. So let's go ahead and grab 1 tablespoon of these. Drop it in our mortar and pestle and go ahead and grind away. They gotta grind it up. You can use a food processor too, but you know, just for this video, we're using this because we like to struggle. Just like our fellow World of Warcraft apprentice chefs. All right, so that's looking like some pretty good consistency in there. I'm sure you can see it. Next up, we have to go ahead and grab our ground ginger. And we're gonna do 1 tablespoon of ground ginger. Next, we're gonna get some ground cinnamon. We're gonna need 1 tablespoon of ground cinnamon. Once you put your ground cinnamon in there, we're gonna go ahead and get a tablespoon of ground nutmeg. Next is a 1/2 tablespoon of cloves. And that's it. So now we give it a good mix together. Careful not to spill it, this is precious stuff. And as you can see, once it's all blended together, it comes into this really nice consistency. And we're gonna go ahead and put it in our jar for later use. And I spilled most of it, but that's all right. And boom, there you go. We have our holiday spices. We're all ready for Winter Veil.
The next one we're working on is going to be northern spices. It has a nice warmth to it to complement the typically chilly region of Northrend. The first ingredient we're gonna put in is 1 tablespoon of dried juniper berries. And the second is 1/2 tablespoon of ground pepper. Now, we're using a mortar and pestle because we're making a YouTube video, but if you have a grinder at home, NutriBullet, you can break this apart much easier than what I'm about to struggle with. So once it's to a fine enough consistency like here, you can start to add the rest of the ingredients. We're gonna start with 1 tablespoon of cardamom. The next is 1 teaspoon of smoked salt, which we have taken out and smoked. The next is half a teaspoon of ginger. And last is a 1/4 teaspoon of allspice. Now we're going to mix in a pestle with all of the ground juniper berries and pepper. And a lovely, nice, like, warm scent is coming out. And very bright. We're going to put this into one of these. And there you have it, some northern spices from Northrend.
Our last recipe is ancient Pandaran spices. These spices have been used in Pandaran recipes for over a millennia. These spices will bring history right into your kitchen. So to get started, we have to do a little bit more grinding in our mortar and pestle. We're gonna start with 3 teaspoons of Szechuan peppercorns. 1, 2, 3. Next, we're gonna go ahead and get 2 teaspoons of fennel seeds. 1, 2. And then before we do our already ground spices, we're gonna go ahead and crush these up. And for the last time, you do not need to use this, but we're making a video. All right, now that's more of the consistency we're looking for. As you can see, it's nice and ground up. Once you have all that ground up, we're gonna go ahead and add 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. Then we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of ground anise. And lastly, we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of ground cardamom. And then we're gonna go ahead and mix it all together. Wow, that smells so good. Once you have it all nicely mixed together, you're gonna go ahead and put it into your jar for use later. And there you have it, some ancient Pandaran spices. So that's it for episode 1. Today we created our autumnal spices, our holiday spices, our northern spices, and our ancient Pandaran spices. We can't wait to dive into using these recipes. Jeremiah, what are we cooking next week?
So next week we're gonna work on tracker snacks and the steaming chicken soup, which requires the northern spices.
Thanks for tuning in to Video Game Eats. I'm Kevin.
I'm Jeremiah.
Keep your feet on the ground.